So we'd like to invite Ethan up here with Agor World.
Hello everyone, how are you today?
Good morning.
Hi, I'm Ethan Berg. I'm the founder and CEO of Agor World, and we simplify 3D creation. So back in 2019, as a non-coder and student founder at Temple University in Philly, we built a 3D shopping platform, full XR, multiplayer, in-store shopping online. It cost 12 months and $70,000 of our time, right? And I'll turn the volume off next time. But you know, the question that kept coming to my mind was, why did it take me so long to do that, right? 12 months, $70,000 of my own money to do that. And what we realized was that 3D creation, creating lifelike 3D content, is extremely complex. It is time consuming and it costs a lot of money, right? You need a team of experts that are doing this for weeks and months at a time, and that can really break your budget. And so what we're doing is simplifying that with a no-code 3D creation engine. All right, we enable our customers to upload or discover their own content, bring it together, collaborate and customize with their team, and publish it in a matter of 10 minutes. We believe that it's 3D designed the way it should be. It's simple, it's scalable, it's collaborative. And what we found is that the market is absolutely crazy over digital twins right now, creating things that are just like the real world, replicas. And so we focused in on that and actually created a no-code digital twin creation tool. So we enable you to build 49 countries, 2,500 cities around the world in a matter of 1 minute, give or take, depending on your internet connection at any moment. And that can be used for a variety of things. Again, it's no code to use. You can access it on any device. And we personalize it too, so you can add your own data. We found that this saves teams tens of thousands of dollars per environment. It takes minutes to do this. And that's because we enable you to do it by just typing in an address, a city, a location. We'll build it for you once you click go. Again, all in the background, and then you get to add your own content with team, with your community, whatever it might be, and access it on any device. And it's a great example of an app that can be built directly on our infrastructure. The last 5 years, we've been building a very robust, scalable infrastructure that enables you to have, thousands of people there collaboratively all at one time, accessible on multiple devices, including through the web, and as well as supporting custom code and integration. Similar to how. And we've layered the whole thing with AI as well, so that you can predict, analyze, and synthesize. So as you see here, it's a checkbox system. So it's no code. For you to discover and license this data, you do it with a click. And we're licensing that from great partners of ours, Google, Cesium, Aerometrics, AWS. Users can integrate their own data layers as well pretty quickly, and it can be historical in real time, static and dynamic. It can come in and it can come out. So, and this platform will power immersive experiences across many domains. But right now we're focused on recreating on-site experiences, so enabling you to be there without actually being there. And from there, it's going to flow down into smart cities. And that's because this market is massive, right? So, well, I'll stop talking for it, actually, because I think it's really good. So the annual cost, it's about $13.5 million per 1,000 employees for manufacturing training. So all the video you're seeing, these are customers of ours building on our Hyundai, have been building their training experiences. So it's a digital twin dealership, looks identical. Emergency planning site when there's a response that's needed. We're doing real estate and architectural visualizations, similar to this photos out there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And all of this is because there's a huge gap in the market. It is people care about their time and their wallet. And right now the solutions of today are not accessible, so you do it your way. And again, it's scalable. So when it comes to charge $1 million, so you can imagine how many applications there are considering their. You can get it out there. And so right now our pipeline's about $1 million. We closed 130,000 in LOIs in the weeks. We've got hundreds of partners, thousands of creations that have been made, about 80% in the past 6 months. since our release, and we've been pitching all over the place. Partnered as Accelerator, Cesium, geospatial company. We're featured at VentureBeat, and we'll be in Hong Kong in April for a huge pitch. Fantastic. And all of this is possible because we charge based on a pass and a usage-based model. So it starts for free. Anyone gets access. I firmly believe everyone right to try, and so we do offer a free version. And from there, it scales if you want analytics, more custom brand, that. And then as your usage goes up, we also increase costs. And our team is fantastic. I wouldn't be here without them. Huge following on social media. Follow Corey. He's one of the biggest AI VR guys out there right now. We've got over a century in XR, 50 years in digital mapping, and over 300. And our advisory board include the inventors of augmented reality as well as the best in the break. And we are raising, so if people know any investors, please reach out. It's one of our critical points right now. We've got 450,000 committed at the moment, and just look that up. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer.
Great. All right.
Oh, is there questions or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are? Yeah, I have, just in case someone wants to
Okay.
go back.
How much time did it take?
He was at about 7 minutes. I started the 8-minute thing a little bit late, but
That's perfect.
You came in at about 7 minutes. So we're gonna have questions. We want questions about the presentation more specifically, and about the business itself, not so much the product. So we'll go ahead. Rupert, why don't you go ahead?
So obviously it's too late to make any major changes to it, and obviously what you've been doing has been working to a certain extent. You know, you've got some intercommitted. My suggestion though is that not everybody is that knowledgeable AI, VR, or XR and things like that. And you know where I'm coming from, right? I still think that you would do better when you start out your presentation with a story of sorts, right? And it's particularly, here's a customer that has a pain point, whether it's cost, whether it's accessibility or anything else, and basically this is their pain point, and then you solve that pain point, okay? That will get everybody in the audience to just focus in on what you just said and your solution to that problem, and everything else flows, right? Otherwise, it did come across as being a bit, need to dumb it down a little bit more, otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, please.
Sorry, yeah. So just as, I guess, a question for you then, if I may, when it comes to the story as to why, right? Like, so our why is to simplify 3D creation, right? Like, the digital twins piece is just the first focus of where we've realized there's a lot of money and a lot of interest in for what we can simplify. But the story was like my background, my experience. So if you believe I should be changing that towards a customer, that can be done. But I am curious if.
Yes.
To piggyback off of that, then your story should be so the customer can envision how does this help me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
What is this about you?
Yeah, you did mention on your team slide about how this solved a problem that you have.
Right.
So talking about that, I'm absolutely on board, because what you're doing is you're solving a problem.
For customer. Noted.
So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
What's trending right now are Google Shorts, YouTube Shorts. Can we take this creation and bring it down to a 30 or 15-second to 30-second recreation?
We got a ton of them, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you could probably, Google, YouTube Shorts are trending right now. And that could be a way to show a business how they could utilize your technology to push social media.
Peter, and then.
Okay, I think what they're found is that you told the story, but you used probably the wrong head. You used your head, not the customer's head. So customer experience and the experience economy that we live in right now, it's very important. And if you recreate a VR of a shop, for me, one of the things that is downside to shop online is just because I have to go to scroll to a lot of products, and if I can't do it like I do at a shop, go to a shelf and choose and click and purchase, probably that will create a different experience. So if you can tell, talk about this experience, will probably hit the customer better because they purchase the better version of themselves, not your product.
Right.
building on what Robert said, like, if you go back to the other slide that you were on,
This
the
one?
story is not really clear. Like you said that you built a VR failed, but you don't really say why it failed. You say it took forever. And then this is talking about buying objects, but then what you show next is like about the world and architecture, and so there's like a disconnect. And I'm not clear on what it is that you were
Understood.
trying to sell.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so much that it failed, I'd just say, in 2019, we built something, a social VR platform that gained some traction, but the biggest problem we had is it took so long to create.
But
Right.
the bigger
I
problem
mean,
with
that was the
too
purpose of it, yes.
is
Yeah.
like, so what? Like, people make 3D applications for fun all the time, but like, why are they making 3D applications? Like, why is it important to do
Yeah,
that?
come-
And why is it important to do that in a
Noted.
time of need?
Coming back to the problem that you solved.
Yep, no, I
Right.
appreciate it.
I think putting them into the picture says, imagine you put on your goggles and you see the problem. You know what I mean? That's how you, and then tell the story. Somebody put them on, they didn't do it, and we were able to solve it. So, I mean, that puts them right in saying, imagine you put those goggles on and you're not seeing what we were hoping to see.
Have you been over to Tampa Bay Wave Business Accelerator?
Where?
Tampa Bay Wave.
Yeah, I know them pretty well. We didn't do their accelerator, we did
Okay,
one.
I mentored for them for quite a while. I was gonna suggest that, but as far as the story goes, you've gotta back the hearse up to the door. If somebody doesn't see a real pain that is going to make a difference for them, because your ideal client, if they don't understand what the real challenge that you're solving is, why would they buy?
Two questions, but before that, as a technical person, I think I pretty clearly understand what you're doing, and if it's gonna happen in a scale of WordPress, this is incredible. Congratulations for the deployment. My question is that VR industry is not mature enough. You know, the goggles, they're expensive and all those things. Did you consider to do this B2B, creating APIs for businesses and not get involved into sales? B2B.
Yeah, so I mean, ours just as a note, it's accessible directly through the web and on your computer.
Yep.
So I did avoid VR headsets for the same reason. We are going towards VR AR now. And the second thing would be you can integrate anything you want. So if you have your own APIs, if you would like to leverage different parts of our infrastructure, you can do so.
And the hardware, how is it supported? Are you on?
I use a Microsoft Surface and it hasn't blown up yet.
Oh, okay.
So
You are going to be on at 2:30 today. 2:30.
2:30, yeah.
You should be there before.
Yeah.
I want to see you for 5 minutes before a day for preparation for that, because it's so much for them to absorb. You are going like a fast train. Take a pause. I will talk to you. Okay? Put it on.
I just wanted to double click. So is it B2B or B2C?
B2B. We're I guess kind of B2B to C in a way. Like a lot of our clients are using it for customer facing experiences. You know, whether that's like for real estate, for example, they're putting in one of their new buildings that they have, they take a 3D scan, they put it into the actual environment in the location, and you look out the window and it looks identical to what it would be. You can simulate weather, what's the sun look like as it's coming through during the day, you know, things like
The
that.
reason I asked because I saw free, and I assumed that free was.
We let business, I think
B2C,
everyone
but I
should
saw
try it,
different.
you know, because of the no code focus, what we found is that most teams, when it comes to like the marketing department, that would be leveraging, or the HR department that's using it for training. Those are the top two use cases at the moment. They are, because they're not the most technical, they're not gonna be putting money towards just downloading a new product that looks cool. Like they're more likely to wanna try it and ease into it, and then from there, they can adopt for.
I think your customer is not clear, so it's like I'm an architect by training, but you can do this with like ArcGIS, and there are a lot of people who provide very similar things, maybe more. But I know the founders actively what like the differentiator is between you and what some of, I feel like Ford isn't on there, they were bought by Hyperspace. There are a lot of other
Hyperspace.
companies that are just missing if you're gonna target my market, that I'm surprised that they're not like.
It's not as much architecture at the moment. I mean, we found that I don't want to say stuck with the tools that you're using, but very comfortable with the processes that are currently in place.
Yeah.
And so what we found is that the teams that really need this the most are the ones that are inside of on-site analysis and training. So it's, I am a team,
Okay.
I'd like to bring people here as if they were here physically, but it costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time for us to actually do that.
I think
So
it
make
was
that more
missed
clear.
that that's the target audience, because you were showing buildings on the world, which is something that speaks very to my profession,
More
but
on
it
the real
wasn't
estate side than
clear
the
that that's
architecture
not what
piece,
you're
but
looking
yeah.
at.
I just want to make sure I understand the purpose and goal of the Crummer right advice for today. So the goal is to what,
The semis today to get into the
the
finals in 2 weeks.
to then get money. So the people that are going to be listening to you, who would be voting for you, that's who your audience is, and that's who that's the pain point you need to solve for them at this moment. So you have to be very clear about which story you tell by understanding who you're actually talking to right
Do you
now.
want to quickly address that?
This is meant for, we are trying to prepare them for investable venture.
Okay.
That's
So
what
the
it is.
mindset is the
It will be-
investor.
It will be investors,
Got
they
it.
are entrepreneurs also, and they know this domain.
Got it.
Okay. Sam?
So with that being said, again, as an investor, I understand what you're selling. What I'd want to know is more, what's your customer acquisition cost? How much traction have you made so far? Where are you in that process? Break down on what the money's gonna be. You already have customers. What's the attrition rate, like that type of, yeah, so this would be, I would focus more on the business aspect.
Like 4% churn, give or take.
I want to just make sure, it's 8 minutes speech, not even 1 second more.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes per second.
12-minute Q&A though. So most of
Thank you very much, Ethan.
Scott, did you ask him what the 1 million?
Oh, our final question. As a community here in Orlando, what can we, as the 1 million cops, do for you?
Honestly, if there are any investors, I think that's my number one focus right now. That's if there's anybody that potentially lead my story and or introduce might have hope for appreciate it. Thank you again.
And at the pitch today and at the finals, it's a set group that will be asking the questions. Is that correct? It's not from.
This is about 12 judges. Selected, but for this one, there will be only 12 judges who are domain, the investors. Okay, 15 by Friday morning.
Right, but the questions are coming from those people, not the gallery, correct?
No, just the judges.
Just the judges.
And
Okay.
the final one, this is 8 minutes and 5 minutes, by the way. Like 8 minutes pitch, 5 minutes question and answer, period. Finals, 8 minutes pitch, 15 minutes question and answer.
Right, Daniel, you and your team are up. To invite Ezzyfit.
Hello everyone, I'm Daniel Pedraza. I am the founder of Ezzyfit, and I'm thrilled to introduce you guys to Ezzyfit, a fashion app that redefines your style and experience. It allows you to digitize, visualize, and personalize your wardrobe easily. The main problem that Ezzyfit targets and makes an opportunity out of is that a lot of us are constantly asking ourselves on a daily basis, what should I wear? This indecision creates decision fatigue. It's mentally draining. And in fact, women spend roughly around 17 minutes each morning on selecting their outfit. I know my girlfriend said it takes more time than that, but on average, between men and women, it accumulates to 4 to 6 months worth of our lifetime on just selecting outfits. When we cannot visualize our outfits on our bodies or what they will look like before we wear them, or the last time, or remember the last time we wore them, it only adds to the frustration of what should I wear. So what have we built to tackle this problem? Enter Ezzyfit, your solution to your everyday wardrobe struggles. Through Ezzyfit, you'll be able to digitize your clothing items into your virtual closet. From there, you'll have a virtual avatar where you can mix and match and visualize your outfits more effectively. As well as you'll be able to receive AI outfit recommendations based on your style, weather, and occasion preference. Our AI-driven app not only gives you outfit recommendations, but it's also able to detect any key missing items that you have in your wardrobe. For example, if you have a trip to Europe next week and you're missing some cold weather apparel, Ezzyfit is able to detect that and be able to fill in those spots with our partnering fashion brands and their digitized clothes. So this is what it looks like.
So at the beginning, the user will get prompted to log in or create an account. Then this is where the magic happens. This is the virtual closet of the user. Here, the user will have all his closet in his phone, and then our AI will prompt him with the occasion, the weather, or what is he looking for in an outfit, and he will send some recommendations into the user's phone.
Next is followed by your home feed. You might be asking, how does the AI know which styles I like? Well, on their home feed, you can see this is one of the competitive edge that we're going to talk about soon. But on your home feed, you see other content posted by generated by other users on the platform. You can swipe right if you like their outfits, swipe left if you don't like their outfits, and swipe up to purchase those items. The more swipe rights that you do, the better the AI will be able to understand your style. Lastly is your user profile, where you can showcase and demonstrate your favorite outfits, as well allows you to track. It could be privately or publicly, so you can connect your friends to it. Ezzyfit works on a two-sided business model. It creates a symbiotic relationship between fashion brands and users. Our primary revenue source is going to be fashion brands and retailers. From them, we're going to be able to digitize their clothing items and demonstrate them on our virtual avatars. So we have in-app advertisement rates, as well as every user that purchases an item through Ezzyfit will receive a 3% sales commission through them. This will increase their sales as well as minimize their returns through our virtual try-on feature. From our users, we plan to do a freemium model where it's free to download, but if you want unlimited digitations or unlimited recommendations, it's $3.99 per month. So what traction have we gained so far? Ezzyfit has secured letters of intent from local fashion brands like Flow and giant apparel giants like Zara and H&M, validating that they're waiting on us for lunch so we can start digitizing their clothes. As well as we have 15,000 user pre-sign-ups, and we had to stop there because we cannot afford to hold more than 15,000 users once upon our launch. We will literally crash. Our vision is ambitious but feasible. We will ensure a true virtual try-on for all body types, as well as integrate with Vision OS so we can provide an immersive 3D experience. We'll partner up with smart mirrors so they can visualize our users can visualize their holographic outfits directly on the mirrors uploaded from their virtual closets. That is the future of try-on clothes. Lastly, when you go to Zara or H&M or partner fashion brands and you purchase an item, on your receipt you have a QR code where you can scan it and it'll automatically upload those clothing items directly to your virtual closet.
So I'm Cameron, I'm the CMO of Ezzyfit. So our target audience is primarily women ages 18 to 35. However, men will also find this app useful as it is intended to include everyone. They are tech-savvy individuals with busy schedules who are often running late to work or important events, but they find the value in dressing well and embody the mantra of look good, feel good. And then our go-to-market strategy so far has been pretty organic, using just social media platforms and micro-influencers. Also a lot of word of mouth, starting with 12 sororities and 12 fraternities across 5 public universities, which includes about 10,000 users that way. We also have a referral program in which users get 10 to 20% discount codes depending on the amount of referrals they provide, and partnerships with fashion brands.
So these are our competitor matrix. These are the main competitors that Ezzyfit has. They have the largest grasp on the market on the AI outfit app industry. However, though, they all lack a virtual avatar. You cannot really personalize and visualize their outfits. Stylebook does a great job at giving you outfit recommendations, but it puts the clothing items side by side. That's hard to visualize. Cloudable, Purple, and A-Closet have a similar concept to Ezzyfit, but once again, doesn't take in consideration your forecasted weather, your occasion, and your style. It lacks, one thing that they lack as well is our engagement user interface that we have, and they cannot connect their calendar. Our Ezzyfit works that you can connect your calendar so you could get event-specific outfit recommendations directly. This is the team. I'm proudly to present, I'm Daniel Pedraza, I'm the CEO, and I'm proud to present Miguel Martinez. He's the CTO. He got first place in Florida's largest hackathon competition last year, as well as won the Orlando Magic competition as well. Along the side with Cameron Pijanowski, who's our CMO, who does a great job at connecting with our target demographic because she is our demographic. Alongside with two Orlando Giants, David Brim and Ray Ortega, giving us advice. Our proposal is simple. Ezzyfit empowers you to digitize your clothing items, visualize your options, and receive personalized style recommendations tailored to your style, as well as our current outfits were generated by Ezzyfit. Thank you, 1 million cups.
Excellent. And first, in answer to Sean's question, is you were just a little bit over 6 minutes. So really, really a great job.
You can slow down a little bit.
Yeah. But you also said you had a couple more slides.
Yeah, I took out some of the slides for the 1 million pitch or 1 million cups.
One question, where is your ask slide? Ask,
Your ask. I plan to do it on the financials, which is what we're seeking and our plan to action. It's not on this pitch.
You should have that last, it's too late anyway. You should have that last slide ask.
It is for the Cromer though. It's not for this one, but.
Okay, that's important.
We have a question from Jane. She wants to know, does your product include wedding dresses?
Anything that you could digitize. You could directly take a clothing item of a picture of the clothing item directly in front of you, or you wearing the clothing items. Our AI does an image recognition that is able to take that clothing item into your virtual closet.
So your product, if I understood right, it saves me time by looking prior to what I'm gonna wear, correct?
Absolutely.
But I need to digitize all my clothing.
Absolutely. Well,
So-
the clothing items that you want.
Yeah, laziness cell. So when I think about go to my closet and digitize every single piece, I start getting lazy, say, oh, that's too much work. So probably work on this thing as well. Like, how can you make it easier for your customer to digitize all the clothing that they have on their, because what you're selling is saving time.
Absolutely. It's with the QR code, once we start scaling and start partnering up with other fashion brands, you can scan the QR code on your receipt and it'll automatically upload it. So it's as easy as scanning a QR code.
Peter and then Patty, or Rupert and then Patty.
So the first thing that came to mind was this looks like more of a B2B play than a B2C play, by virtue of the fact that your B2C, your B2B customers already have a captive audience, right? They have the product, they have everything they need. All you need to do is allow your B2C people to send them their digital persona, so to speak, and then they can go to their website and see all their clothing on them. Okay, that's a hell of a lot less hassle for the B2C person, for the customer to deal with. They only have to scan one thing, and that's themselves. Whereas you leave the rest up to the B2B. That's just my thoughts. One thing about the competition slide, and I noticed this too on Agora World, you know, an investor needs to feel warm and fuzzy. Okay, we want to, and what makes us feel warm and fuzzy is that we know that you know what you're doing. Okay, and a lot of that is competition. And when a third to 45% of companies fail, even after receiving funding, because there's no market for their product or service, we really need to know that you know your market. So when we see competition slides like that, it's not helping. Okay, so what we like to see is, first of all, you need a lot more competitors on there, and we know they exist. And I would put their logos on there, okay, and make them small and make yours big, of course. But the same thing for the other guys is, you know, I would have liked to have seen logos, and then she came up with a pretty good thing too.
Yeah, just I'm a bona fide data nerd, so but it took me 2 days to do all lighting conditions and all the right find a way to get people excited to do it on the right, or you're not going to get anymore. And then with the Rupert idea, with understanding what the value of them, if they're already in it, then yes, what is the universe? So what is the slice that you think you could take That's the augment to like now what? Having the competition.
Absolutely.
Because there's a space for you, but it's this much money.
Yeah. Well, part of our gamification is a virtual avatar where you could directly post your outfits, and our AI does image background changes, so you could post it. It's kind of like an in-app social media as well, and that's part of our plan of keeping user retention, keeping the engagement. So that's the difference between a closet or Stylebook or the other ones. There's at least 15 other competitors, but our difference is it's more gamified.
Great presentation. How do you get yourself on there? Do you put in your weight and your height and all that, or is it just a 3D image, or how does it know?
Absolutely. So for the beta, we're not launching with the more tailored body styles. With more development, we're gonna give the accurate. There's something called 3D Gaussian splatting, and that's what we plan to implement. So we can implementing a true virtual try-on. As of right now, you just take a picture of your clothing item and it goes into your virtual avatar. With time, as we start to scale, it'll be more tailored to each body type.
And it also knows you're at, like, I like this kind of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sarah H. Man, yeah, just like you said, it's 18 work. Why not the other age you didn't add it?
Yeah, that's an issue because when I talk to a lot of mentors and investors, they're like, you need to find your niche. You need to find your niche. You need to get your target demographic. So for the sake of that, that's why I put ages to 18 to 35. However, though, when I'm talking to women and men like myself, it goes up to the ages of 50s, where they're using these style apps.
That's to stay focused to get the money the soonest.
One suggestion is if you add I understand the now subject what you are talking, but if you add the tailboat for women 45 plus up, that it affect, I think, your customers. I think
Absolutely.
They won't think only it's for only younger generation.
So, have you thought about using augmented reality for the trying on clothes? Because right now, we use an app that takes our product and puts it on a wall and shows people exactly how it looks in their space. So I would drop the body styles. That is going to be completely ineffective compared to if you've got a way to, are you 3D modeling the clothes by a picture, or is it just an image?
We're starting with image recognition, and then we're implementing 3D Gaussian splatting to start doing the 3D rendering.
Because if you use augmented reality, and so my body's there, and you can do that, and you can look at it in a mirror or have your phone with a front-facing camera or something like that. We're using this. We're on. We have a full shop that's going on where our affiliates can use TikTok and TikTok shops and all kinds of things, to where they're using augmented reality, and it's all for their shops and their affiliate networks, and it's just blowing me away the capacity
awesome.
there.
Yeah, AI is kind of helping bridging that gap a little bit closely because it's able to take something 2D, not turning exactly 3D, but give you that feel of 3D.
Right.
So it's bridging that gap.
Ours is still just it's a 3D model, but it's just it's still a 2D image. But
We used to call that 2.5. I don't know if they're still calling it 2.5.
But what's the turnaround? When I place an order, let's say 6 o'clock at night, what's the soonest I can get your product?
Well, it depends on the fashion brands. If you're shopping from Zara, they have 3 to 5 day shipping. It depends on the fashion brands.
So nothing in emergency till the next day.
Well, if you have clothing items like in your wardrobe, you could either post pictures directly of the clothing item one by one, or you wearing the clothing items. If you have a pre-existing picture, upload that one. Our AI does image recognition of that.
Yeah. On the avatar side, there are so many SDKs you can use. I can give you a list of them later. I would not recreate the wheel on that. That in itself is a business. I've seen 500 companies try to build that. I highly recommend using one of the ones off.
Yeah,
The body type, I would not drop that at all. I think long-term size will be the differentiator, hands down. The only concern I will say I have is if I upload photos of my clothes now, and later, how's it going to know the size of it later? Like that would be just because then I'm going to have to go back and redo it again, which as a user probably wouldn't want to do. You have some options outside of Gaussian splatting. It's a great option, like using Luma or something like that. There's a lot of background noise. So I mean, yeah, I can definitely give some recommendations on that side too. But yeah, great concept.
Appreciate it.
I think you mentioned on one of your slides, you have 15,000 users, but if you go past that, you break.
Yeah,
What
we
does that
cannot.
mean?
It's the API request cost of us is I can't afford more. I've been bootstrapping it for myself. We just started this a little bit over 6 months ago, and I cannot afford to hold more than 15,000 users. That's 15,000 API calls, whatever it is per week, and I can't afford that.
Yep, I had a different point, but to that point, Microsoft has an incubator that you can apply to, and they give you a lot of credits, and they're giving those away like candy right now. So I would like that.
Google does
That's
too.
awesome. That's good to know.
So many credits.
My second thought was the screenshots are great, but why not give some sort of demo?
We tried. Well, we did, and I wasn't satisfied with the demonstration that we had implemented. So I just thought that the wireframes was going to be more short and precise to the point.
People have brought up that people don't want to take photographs of their entire closet, your startup. Why don't you just offer, like, we'll send someone to your closet to photograph your clothes, or just put all your clothes in a box and ship them to us, and then you can have money using your.
Yeah, that's something I've not thought about. Since it's a free to download app, it's gonna be really hard to maintain with each user. Honestly, I'm not expecting everybody to take a picture of every single clothing items, but your favorite clothing items that you want to demonstrate and showcase.
I mean, just do it with the most important people. Like Dribble set up the profiles for the most important creatives when. So choose important.
Eric's got an online question, and then I've got.
So Jane wants to know, will you also market to those with disabilities and the blind working toward independent living? There is technology that exists that it's like a little scanner pen that will tell somebody a color. This is blue, this is black.
Yeah, I mean, if we have the ability, for sure. It says, we're 6 months into this venture, and I hope that we have the scalability and the funding to acquire all demographics.
If you come up with something along that line, that opens up a whole new box of funding.
And his brain just opened up.
Yes, if you got into the fashion industry, man, you better increase your 50% your branding. Think about Ezzyfit and every slide, your t-shirts, your look. Are you in the fashion industry? Yes or not? I used to work for Hugo Boss for many years, and it's all about branding. So increase that, make yourself look good, go inside with everything, so everybody will remember the three of you plus that thing in the center.
Absolutely.
John,
Here is a great example. 6 months, idea to Kramer semifinal. Bootstrap. Anybody can do it. Because you are at 4:30 today.
Yeah.
You gotta be there by
4:30 p.m.
And you pitched this idea for the first time at Startup Weekend, correct?
I did. I was a little nervous about it, and that was last October, and that's how I actually met my CTO from Techstars.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of apps out there. And one guy even pitched it on Shark Tank. He didn't get a deal, but he went out and made millions out of it. Is doing the digital measurements when you just take a scan of the body, and you can build an avatar just right off those digital measurements.
Or partner up with them.
And there's, I mean, they're giving you the right pant size. They're giving you, I mean, they're doing tailored clothing off of those measurements.
Yeah.
Have you thought about there's got to be an API for that?
We've been focusing our efforts into with smart mirrors, so people can visualize their holographic outfits on their mirrors, on the smart mirrors. So
Nobody owns those.
Yeah, you gotta.
You are so limited with that. I think that's a huge mistake. You got to do something. If you're going to go to the masses, you got to go do something that anybody can do. Everybody has an iPhone with LiDAR. They can measure anything with this thing. Or all the Samsungs have LiDAR. So nobody has a smart mirror.
That's what they do in Hong Kong. They get you sued in 1 day, 2 days.
Yeah.
Do it. Tuk, 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 tuk. You just go in there.
So, I mean, there's apps out there that do that.
Definitely.
Listen, you have a catalog, in case I don't come up with anything, but would just fit my thoughts, and I just want to see something.
Yeah, it's the home feed.
Go on there and say, hey, tomorrow I have an anniversary party. What do you recommend me? Okay, here are 50 different models. Let's go. Boom.
That's exactly how it works. And as well, if you don't like the outfits that you have received, you could go to your home feed and keep scrolling. It's an infinite scroll where you can see the other
Any
content.
occasion, business,
Exactly.
birthday parties.
Yeah, whatever occasion it is.
So there's a particular reason why a lot of people in this audience have given you ideas to better your product. And that is because you weren't concise enough to an investor to show us what your path to profitability is. Okay, we need to know what your focus is, and we need to see that path that says, today, we started 6 months ago, we're here today. In a year from now, where are you going to be, and are you going to be, able to do anything, right?
Absolutely.
For the investors. So that's not clear yet. So
I took out the financial and the funding side. I kind of go over that with the plan of action.
I get it, but I'm talking from the market side.
From the marketing side. I will ask, you took out your ask slide. Can you give us your ask?
I'm asking for 500,000, and how we're gonna use those funds is by allocating 62.5% of that into app improvement and operational costs, another 25% into marketing and user acquisition, and the last 12.5% into salaries since we have to subsidize our living.
Mm-hmm.
It also holds the user acquisition costs, our net profit gain for year 1 and year 2, which we're pre-revenue, so it's really hard to calculate, but
come up with a number.
Yeah.
Just like you import the weather, import calorie intake, that way your avatar grows.
I was going to avoid something like that. Yeah, because what I like about this is we're not all striving to be Steve Jobs or Zuck, where just give me a gray T-shirt. Yeah. Although you could have which gray T-shirt. Okay, time for one more. All right, we're gonna Ethan.
Should white label its brands.
White label the brand.
Every single brand wants something like this. They have a 3D catalog with 3D models of every one of their products, and everyone already is using. So, I feel like instead of selling it to consumers, if you sold it to brands and you just got what's a monthly fee, you do practically nothing, and then you let them rebrand it.
M Taylor is the app that
And Taylor?
Taylor.
Taylor.
MTAILOR.
A little bit more research into your competitions.
Just for the LiDAR measurement of design.
All right, now final question. As the Orlando chapter of 1 Million Cups, what can we as community do for you?
If you guys can lead us to the right connections, whether it's fashion brands or applications like the one you just mentioned, we'll appreciate that, as well as any investors that will be able to hear our pitch and just get us in front of the right audience.
Great. Good job, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right, I'd like to say that was great as a feedback, especially for the situation that these two presenters are in today, where they're going off to a big competition. And again, I want to stress that is what 1 Million Cups is about. We are about helping people, helping entrepreneurs who are working on the next stage of their business. So if you are, the basic criteria is a business that's under 5 years old, that you're working for the next growth, the next round of funding, the next thing that you're wanting to grow your business from, and you're open to feedback is the most important thing. We want to again ask everybody to follow us on various different social medias. You can find us in various different iterations of 1 Million Cups Orlando. Eric.
Jane Tracy says thank you for both presenters and all the best on your competition.
And I would echo that, and I think everyone else here would, so fantastic. Can the general public come to the...
Not the semifinals, only judges.
Yes.
Semifinals. But finals will be on the 20th of March, 5:30 to 9. In person.
Probably going to be somewhere on probably on the Cromer site.
Yeah, they will be announcing on Friday morning. 4 will be selected out of this 15 people.
Or they can find it. Find information.
Then there will be 3.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming, and like I said earlier, connect with somebody. There are tons of coffee shops and other places of eating and dining and and maybe just sitting and talking around. So someone that you've connected with today, meet up with them, have a conversation, and move the community forward. Next week, we do need presenters. So if you fit the criteria where you're an entrepreneur, you're working on something, and you're open to feedback, we would appreciate you signing up. We've got a pin of people who have applied, and we want to, if you've applied, we want to encourage you to take the next step and go ahead and pick next week as your date to present, or sometime here in the near future. And if you have any questions on how to do any of that, get with one of us with the committee, and we'll help walk you through the process. Thank you very much, and we will see you all again next week.